called Ianni and I'm the principal here at St. Jean de Brebeuf. This video will help you answer some of the frequently asked questions asked by others during our grade 8 information night. Today I will answer some of these questions, and I will also be supported by our Head of Student Services, Ms. Cindy Fazari. So thank you, Cindy, for joining me today. The first question is, assuming that we still will be in the midst of a pandemic, what are the plans for uniform orders and the passport day in August? The uniform orders will take place as they've been taking place throughout the current year, which is virtually online, which is accessible on our school website. As well, we can call the company directly. There is also a truck that comes to our school on a weekly and monthly basis to fulfill a lot of the orders that happen either virtually online or order directly through them as they're coming to us through the truck. The process is quite simple, and if you have any questions around some of the navigating of that, please feel free to call our school at any time. The question around the Passport to Grade 9 Day in August, that will depend on where we're at in terms of health and protocols that will be directed to us through our public health and through our board policies. If we're back to a typical year, we will have the Passport to Grade 9 as we've had in many years, with some added technological features that we've all developed through the pandemic. If not, we will revert back to the model that we used through our last Passport to Grade 9 last August, which was a virtual tour through the school. We have a lot of question and answers and a video that is already on our website for your child and you to see some of the things that are happening in the school. There are a lot of changes that are occurring to Brebeuf this year that we'll also be speaking to in a more updated version of that platform. Those will be the two ways we will address it depending on health. The next question is, my child is in your feeder school but is out of the catchment, but we want to send them to SJB. There are definitely many students in our school that are from out of catchment that want to attend St. Jean de Brebeuf, and who can blame them. And the process is a cross-boundary form that they would have to fill out that we would have to review here at the school. So if you are a family that has a child that lives out of our boundary, out of our catchment, which can be found and determined on our board website, you can contact the school. We will provide you an out-of-boundary form, and we can begin the process in that manner. Is there any choice in the future, if we are still under a pandemic, for virtual and face-to-face schooling? For the current semester coming up, that decision will be made this February. February 4th, I think, will be the deadline for that determination, because that's when second semester begins. Again, I'm going back to a previously asked question. Depending on where we are in health and the protocols and practices put in place by the city, the province, the Ministry of Education, and our board, we will determine what that process will look like, and that will be the way we disseminate it to all our schools across the system. Are you going to be doing blocks next year? So for those parents who are having our first time grade 9 coming to our school, in the secondary panel, our school is set up into what we're calling an octomester. There are 4 blocks per semester that they've been broken down to, where each student is taking one course at a time. All of that will be determined at the system level, and when that decision is made through the trustees, through the Director of Education, and through the board, we will obviously share that information with the families, and we will utilize how we're going to practice that and share that with everyone. At the moment, we are carrying second semester in the same fashion as we have this semester. However, what next year will look like will be determined again by health. Will students still share a locker moving forward? That's been a question that's been asked a few times. That again will be determined by health protocols and practices that will be put in place and will be determined moving forward. What I can say, with the relatively 1,500 or so students, we do not have a locker for each student, so we will determine how to best practice that under the current practices that are set forth coming up for next year. If the pandemic ends, how will transportation work? Transportation has obviously been altered this year, and it's very strict, and we're tracking who sits where, and they're not allowed to move seats and all of those different things, and who's allowed to take a bus is very stringent this year. If the pandemic ends, God willing, then we will probably look to go back to the practice that has been in place in previous years, with a set parameter around the school as to who can take the busing, and then there is an opportunity for those that are looking for courtesy seating. That will be a contact through the busing company and through the school, and we will go through that process. What it will look like next year, again, will be determined where we're at in the summer with our current pandemic situation. Would Christian services hours still be 40 hours due to the pandemic? If you have a child that's currently in grade 12, you may already know it. If you don't, they have reduced the Christian services hours to 20 hours this year. What will be determined moving forward, and for the grade 11s going to grade 12 next year, and subsequent students moving forward in years, will be determined as to where we're at with the pandemic. The typical expectation across the province is 40 community service hours, which is similar to our Christian services hours in our Catholic system. The next question is, can you make a tour of the school, please? Under our current practices and protocols, obviously visitors to the schools is not really happening at the moment. There is a virtual tour online on the website that this link is found, where we go through many portions of the school. However, if the practices of our protocol tend to lift, if things start to get better, we will look to go back to the model of having tours in the school, and we will set up whatever we need to do to allow an opportunity for our students that are looking to come to the school, not only have an opportunity to see what the school looks like, but to reduce any anxieties and increase comfort levels of their access to the building and what it will look like and feel like for them. What is the school email? Our school's email is sjb@hwcdsb.ca. That's sjb@hwcdsb.ca. Is there co-op courses still being offered at this time? As I mentioned at the grade 8 night, our co-op team with the support of student services and the admin have really done a fantastic job in maintaining the opportunity for co-op this current semester and going into next semester. We are one of the few schools in the board and one of the only schools in our entire city allowing an opportunity for students to continue many co-op placements, whether it is the 2 credit co-op, 1 credit co-op, or 4 credit co-op opportunities. As well, our life skills students, many of them are going out to job placements as well, in obviously a very safe manner and following all COVID protocols. If the pandemic ends, are you going to schedule personal orientation for students? Yes, we would definitely provide any and every opportunity for students to get into the building to increase their comfort. Transition from elementary school to secondary school is a big one for our students, our kids in our lives, and we want to reduce any anxieties and answer as many questions as possible. How many compulsory religion credits are required to graduate? The expectation of our Catholic system is that a student takes a religion course every year in their 4-year diploma. So the expectation is that in grade 9, 10, 11, and 12, a student is taking a religion course. At this time, I'd like to thank everybody for joining us in this video. Please make sure you take the opportunity to look at several of the other links that are attached to this website, and specifically if your child is linked to special education, ESL, any student services questions. There's also an athletics link for a child that's interested in participating in athletics moving forward when they start running again, as well as any student that's looking into volunteer hours or all the other alternative options that our students have to connect to the school. So that would be any clubs or activities that are taking place here at St. Jean de Brebeuf during our pandemic or hopefully beyond. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Cindy Fazari and I'm the Department Head of Student Services here at SJB, and I'm going to address some of the questions that were asked during our grade 8 virtual night. When should we start registering? Students who attend our feeder schools will be receiving items to register in January. Non-feeder school students, that's students from our public schools and out of our catchment, can find all registration materials and how to register on our website. What is most important is that you will need to call the school if you are a non-feeder school, meaning if you're coming from a public school or out of our catchment. You need to call the school and get on our list, provide your student's name and an email so we can email you all the pertinent information on how to register. Does the assigned guidance counselor follow the student from grade 9 to grade 12, or does it change yearly? At our school, an assigned guidance counselor will follow students from grade 9 through to graduation. What is Christian service? Christian service hours, also known as community service hours, are the requirement by the ministry to graduate, as well as 30 credits achieved and completion of the literacy test. Christian service hours, the requirement is 40 hours. Students in grade 8 can complete their hours in July of the year that they wish to attend that September. So for this year's grade 8s that will be starting in September 2021, you can start completing your Christian service hours in July of 2021. If you want more information on what it is, what hours are available or what volunteer opportunities are available, please visit our website. As well, you can access the Christian Service Instagram account where there is volunteer opportunities posted. If my son is going to Lawfield Elementary currently, when do I register him to attend SJB? So the first thing you're going to do is you're going to call the school and you're going to put your name and your son's name as well as your email on a list, and you will be provided registration information in January. When are option sheets due, as my child currently attends a public school? Once we send out the information to all interested parties that wish to attend SJB for September 2021, we will give a date as to when registration materials are due. Typically, we ask that they are due before March break of that school year. So this year's grade 8s, we would require your registration materials into the school by March 2021. My child goes to a feeder school. Does all registration need to be done online? Registration for this year will be done online for students that are attending our feeder schools. In what month do students pick their classes? Students can begin accessing MyPath in January 2021 and start choosing classes. Students in our feeder schools will receive a form that indicates what teachers are choosing for, or what they recommend, for students to take in grade 9. Parents and students will sit down, look at the teacher recommendations, and decide what they would like to take. Then that will be sent, then students will be required to go onto MyPath and choose courses. All of these instructions will be outlined to grade 8s from our feeder schools. Students who are in a public school, you will be provided the same option sheet, what you can provide to your teacher, where they can make recommendations, and then you will be required to send that completed form once parent and student make the recommendations and send that into SJB. Is it necessary to call into the school to provide that information if our student is in a feeder school? No. If your child goes to one of our feeder schools, you do not have to provide information about coming to SJB next year. What visual arts programs do you have? We have many visual arts programs here at SJB. We have sculpting, we have visual arts, we have photography, as well as other arts programs that are here, dance, music, and drama. Does the school have an SHSM program? Yes, SJB does have a SHSM program, one of the biggest in our school board. SJB offers a variety of SHSM programs. Those programs include arts and culture, business, construction, transportation, information technology, health and wellness, nonprofit. What grade is the cosmetology course? Cosmetology courses begin in grade 10 and can be taken grade 10, 11, and 12. How many electives are we able to take yearly? In grade 9 and 10, you have the opportunity to take 2 electives. So grade 9, you would have 2 electives, and then grade 10, you have 2 electives. In grade 11, you have many more electives available, up to 5. In grade 9, there are a limited number of electives available, and then in grade 10 there are more electives. For example, tech, there are more tech electives available. All of these electives can be found on pathtosuccess.ca or on the grade 9 guide that is available on our website, where it lists all of the courses and their descriptors. In that guide, there's also the form or the option sheet that is a rough copy for you to look at what a student would take coming into grade 9. Thanks so much.